club with the announcement of the Jamestown tie-up. In a practical sense, what does that mean for you in your role?
It means that we can use their knowledge and expertise in terms of how we prepare for games, opposition analysis, how we benchmark our own performances post-match, and also for recruitment, which we're hoping will be really beneficial to us. So it's quite exciting. I'm used to working with analytics and data before. I know how it can help and what a big aid it can be. So yeah, it's a big announcement, fantastic for the football club, and hopefully it plays a big part in what we do in our processes working forward.
I know it was a huge thing, Liverpool still is.
Mm.
Is that somewhere where you've used it before? And
Yep.
in terms of the way that Tony Bloom has used it with Brighton, what's the kind of the perception down south of the job that he's been able to do there?
Oh, where Brighton were and where they are now is incredible. So, if you look at the clubs that his company has been involved with, then they've all progressed and taken steps forward. But it's not just about recruitment. You've also got to get many other things right as well. Your facilities, your environment, your staffing. It plays a part, an important part. It's not everything. It's not the be all and end all, but it also can give you maybe an advantage in certain areas of, say, your daily working life, your processes, which you hope will benefit the club in the future.
How much is it already being used in terms of looking ahead to January and the summer?
Yeah, no, it has. It's played a part in preparation for games, and it's also playing a part which will become more prevalent in the next few weeks with Graham starting on Monday. That will be, those conversations will become much more frequent, ready for January. But yeah, it has played or has been playing a part in identification of players for January and from beyond. Can't go into that in too much detail in this moment in time, but yeah, it has been so far, yeah.
How excited should supporters be about this and everything you mentioned, everything that comes with this, also the potential for an investment coming from Tony Bloom in the future as well? And clearly, the idea is to push Hearts into a place where they're starting to push the top two.
Yeah, well, the fact that I think Jamestown actually said it in their quotes about they're selective on who they work with. So the fact that, if you like, they've chosen Hearts, I think that's a big thing for the football club. I think that's something that we should be very proud of as a club. But I say it's obviously in its infancy. It's only just been announced, and we as a staff need to understand how to use it to our benefit, and it might not be evident immediately, but you hope over a period of time that it certainly plays a big part in pushing this club forward.
How does it feel, having had a bit of rest with the squad now and a bit of time over this international break? How would you reflect on that, and what's the feeling, everyone getting back together again?
Yeah, it was quite strange, really. I was saying to the staff this morning, it's like, I think this is just coming to the end of the 6th week, and it seems like it's flown by. But it seems longer than 6 weeks. We've had so much, so many games. We had a bounce game as well. We've had an international break. We've had a lot going on. So it was nice to have a period of rest where you could reflect and evaluate what you've done and look at the performances and how we're going to improve. With the focus on obviously a very busy, challenging, hectic schedule to come up in front of us again. And it's an exciting period, and it starts with obviously the toughest test you can face, which is Celtic.
Kenneth Fargus's comments caused a bit of a stir on
Yeah.
international duty. What have you made of those, and have you had the chance to speak to him?
I haven't had a chance to speak to him, unfortunately, yet, no, because there's been a complication with his return flight, so he's not yet back in the country. When he does return, then I will be speaking to him, obviously. I don't want to go into it in too much detail until I've spoken to him one-to-one, face-to-face, because I think that would be wrong. But I also say, I mean, I read, obviously, his initial comments, but then I also read his initial response to his own comments. And that's something that, as a club, you know, myself, will deal with internally.
Will he be involved this weekend?
He still has a chance of being involved this weekend, yes.
The rest of the squad, is Oda or Neuenhof back in contention?
Yataro has a chance. He's trained this week. Not fully trained, but has trained enough to be considered for selection. Callum is still going to be a good few weeks away yet. He's obviously not trained since March time, I think it is, and so he just needs a period of time to gain more confidence in himself. But Yataro has done enough to be considered for selection, yes.
Anybody else injured on the back of the
No. Shanks, Craigie, Kai, they've all returned. So everyone else is fit and able and willing and ready to go.
Has the weather had an influence in your training schedules this week?
No, to be honest, we've been Monday and Tuesday we were out on the grass. The pitch was slightly frozen, but we just pushed training back a little bit, and we've still managed to get out on the grass. And the last few days we've trained here at Tynecastle. So no, we've not been on AstroTurf or gone indoors, so we've been fine.
You're also facing a team that is going really well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're a fantastic team. There's no doubt they're the best team in Scottish football at this moment in time. They're in a really good moment. You've only got, you look at the facts. They're unbeaten this season. I think they've only conceded 3 goals in the league, and one of them was a penalty. So we know the challenge that's right in front of us, but we can take confidence in some of our recent performances. And if we're slightly better in certain areas of the pitch, then we know we can cause Celtic problems.
Brendan's got Champions League in midweek. Do you expect him to reshuffle his pack?
No, not really. I think if you look at Celtic's team, it's been quite consistent in terms of who they pick and how they play. And even if they did, there's still quality players that they're bringing into the team. I think they're in a good moment. They've got good rhythm, and you can see there's a synergy between the players on the pitch. The nucleus of their squad has been together for a number of years, and I think that's really beneficial, and you can see that on the pitch in how they play.
Just going back to Kenneth's situation, obviously implied that he could move on in January. There was a clause in his contract. Is that something that the club had discussed with him, that he may move in January?
No, not as far as I'm aware. No, Kenny signed a long-term contract in the summer, so I know he loves being here. I know he likes being here. I know he's fully committed to being here. He has ambition. We should never suppress ambition. But my findings of Kenny so far is he's a boy who wants to learn and get better, and he has things to improve. And the best talking you can do is always on the pitch.
Celtic have 13 players coming back from international duty. Can you take any hope from that?
Well, unless a lot of them have been delayed like Kenny, then that would help. But no, they've got top quality players all over the pitch. No, I look. You can say, is it a good time? Is it? You just don't know until you start the game tomorrow night. They're in really good form, and they're a good team, and we know we have to be at our best. But what a challenge! And we're at home, so my experiences so far is the supporters here generate a fantastic atmosphere, and we've got to try and make it as difficult as possible for Celtic Saturday evening.
Just touching on the atmosphere, it's a slightly unusual kick-off time. Can you almost harness a European atmosphere at that time?
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, with it being in the evening under the lights, yeah. You know, it's been cold this week. Hopefully, we can generate a bit of warmth and a bit of passion in the cauldron at Tynecastle Saturday evening, and hopefully that plays to our benefit.
Should we move on to environment stuff now?
Neil, you talked about having the time to reflect.
Yeah.
Now that it was an international break.
Are you in the market to buy a car? Click the link below.